Hey guys, it's Paul, combat veteran, MMA fighter, YouTuber, and today we are checking out one of the most legendary short films of Warhammer 40K. This is His Angels. But before we get started, of course, be sure to check the description below because I have launched a Discord. That's right, we've got Warhammer 40K memes, we've got army painting, we've got gaming, streaming, memes, more cursed images, you name it, we've got it. So it's a fun time. You should absolutely check out the link in the description and join. Also, like always, be sure to check out the merch store. I have lots of new designs. I'm uploading new stuff all the time, and it's a great way to support the channel. So, having done that, let's get into it. All right, so this looks like it's from Source Filmmaker, right? We got our guardsmen trying to aim with precision. So here's the thing. The reason sniper rifles are really long, right? That looks like it's probably some sort of precision model of a las gun. The reason sniper rifles are long is because the barrels are rifled, and the more turns you get in the rifling of the barrel, the more spin that bullet is going to have. And just like throwing a Hail Mary pass, the more spin you have, the more that ball is going to be centered as it flies through the air. Same principle with a bullet. But if you're shooting a las rifle, then precision is going to probably be a function of, well, I'm not sure actually. I imagine it would be a function of power and of construction. Right? It's going to be extra hard because that scope is always going to be a little above the laser because the laser travels in a perfectly straight line. So, again, it would probably be really tough to design a functional las gun sniper rifle, right? You would have to have that, like, point where the line of sight and the las blast cross be pretty tough to calculate. Okay, you notice, again, sort of one of those things that bothers me, that the person loaded a power pack, right, charged their las gun, but then had some sort of flicking of what looked like flicking down the chamber, which normally, of course, when there is a physical round being loaded, that slides the bolt forward, secures in the chamber, gets it ready to fire. But if you have, again, a las gun, which just shoots lasers, there's no moving projectile that has to be loaded. There's no mechanical mechanism, right? And maybe he's like locking the power pack into place or something, but it still sort of bothers me when people just without thinking assume that a laser weapon would have the same basic operations and optics as a ballistic weapon. But I get it. It's Source Filmmaker. You got what you got. Oh, it's the Tau of filthy space communist fish. Okay, I don't hate this Tau advance. Advances, I think, are pretty messy anyway. And in classic Tau fashion, it looks like they have cleared much of the area before advancing. So this seems like actually not totally nonsensical. I'm assuming Tau has some sort of indirect fire that are supporting them, or they have a second unit, say, on like a hilltop, who's offering them support by fire. So some Tau elements are sitting on a good firing position and providing cover as this entire Tau company or platoon advances. So again, not seeing anything too out of the ordinary. All right, well, giving up, just praying to the Emperor. That's a strategy, though not a great one. If praying to the Emperor worked, they wouldn't give you a las cannon. Las gun, excuse me. It may not pictured him saying, "Get your shit together, guardsmen." I love how they have the Doom helmets. You know, it's not that crazy to think drop pods dropping in from orbit is a reasonable way to deploy troops. The hardest part is going to be managing the reentry. Obviously, reentering through the atmosphere, right? Often we use heat shields in our modern shuttlecraft and the like as they basically free fall from orbit. But at a certain point, they deploy a parachute to slow them down so that they can hit the ground without, moving at terminal velocity. And that is sort of tough to do, but obviously this didn't have a parachute, but I imagine they could use some other techniques to increase drag. They could also do what some of the Mars rovers do, which is use thrusters deploying in the opposite direction to slow the craft down. So it would just be falling at full speed. The thrusters would fire and slow the craft speed to it hit the ground at a perfectly survivable rate. I wonder if with the right engineering, you could have the craft literally be moving at terminal velocity, and then in the last 100 or 75 feet, like just below ground, boom, the rockets fire, slow it so that it hits hard, but it moves through the atmosphere where it's in the greatest danger at a really high velocity. Probably would be something that only an Astartes could tolerate. Okay, who has shown up? Oh, logically, it's the Blood Angels?
Abide, welcome, fellow explorers. Return a greeting in kind.
I love how immediately upon seeing the Space Marines, the Tau Fire Warriors just dip. I mean, I hope they're getting to cover. Huh. Do the Tau respire? You notice they're panting as they're killed. You know, I appreciate the fact that they accurately depict the Tau as being terrible at melee. Ooh, buddy, that was something. That was something. Yeah, I appreciate the depiction of the Space Marines as an ultra-powerful offensive strike force that can show up at the exact right moment. And that is, again, a real military strategy, committing your reserves at the moment of decisive engagement, right? That's waiting until a moment in which an additional allocation of forces will prove decisive at breaking your enemy. So again, commonly this is thought of as a point in which you make an advance. Your advance begins to stall as the enemy becomes stretched to their limit and throws everything to try to stop you. And at that moment, as your momentum is slowing, you commit your reserves, and suddenly the already thinly stretched enemy sees 2 times or 3 times their original, or a 25% increase in the amount of forces you've thrown at them. And it is morale crushing and also can be the decisive moment. But in this case, it appears that the filmmaker was trying to depict the decisive moment as actually being one in which the Tau are baited into an advance, though baited by, killing lots of guardsmen. So as they advance chaotically, it gives the Space Marines an opportunity to enter and break up their lines in the way that's most effective for the Astartes, which is melee combat. So also a really cool, fun depiction of Space Marine battle tactics, and I think a pretty realistic one. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Again, be sure to check out the Discord, check out the merch store, check out the second channel, and everything else. All the links are in the description, and I will see you guys next time.